to another video. So today I am going to be doing a Top 5 Wednesday video. However, this is going to be a little bit different because in March there were a lot of great topics for Top 5 Wednesday. And honestly, I wanted to do all of the topics, well, except for one. I think I didn't have anything for the angsty one. But, yeah, I wanted to do almost every topic this month. And sadly, I just didn't have the time to film and edit and upload the topics for every Wednesday for this month. So instead, I'm kind of doing things a little bit different. And I am doing a Top 5 Wednesday mashup. So, yeah, I'm going to be talking about all the top 5 topics for this month. Well, almost all of them. And what my picks are for each topic. So, for the first week in March, the topic was fictional jobs that you'd like to have. So I've got 5 picked out for this as well. It's kind of hard narrowing it down because there's a lot of fictional jobs I would love to have. And then the second week was favorite sci-fi and fantasy books. You guys know I love fantasy, so definitely wanted to do this one, so got books for that as well. And then the third week was the Ides of March. So books you felt betrayed by. And I've got some books for that, but I also included TV shows. I included TV shows for the fictional jobs and for books you felt betrayed by. Because Sam says that, every topic is always open to TV and movies as well. And so I wanted to include some TV shows because there are some that really, really betrayed me. And I want to talk about those. So, so that was the third week of March. And then the fourth week was just favorite angsty romances, which I really don't have much angsty romances, so I'm just gonna skip that topic. And then the last one this week is favorite, future classics. So books that you think are going to become classics in the future. So I have books for that as well. So yeah, like I said, this is going to be a mashup of almost all the top 5 topics for this month. So there were some really good topics and I really want to talk about them. So starting off, let's start off with favorites or fictional jobs you would like to have. So this one is the only topic that I actually did order them from least favorite to most favorite. I mean, I like all of these jobs. I would want to do all of these, but I kind of ranked them in a hierarchy from least to most. So, but this is the only topic that I did that for. So, coming in at number 5, I am going to say Treasure Hunter, Nicolas Cage's character on National Treasure. I forget his name in the movie, but his character in National Treasure. So, just I don't know, I think it'd be so much fun and so cool and interesting to just go around the country looking for clues hidden in, history and stuff, and just, piecing together clues and finding this treasure. It's like a huge scavenger hunt, sort of. And I just think that would just be so much fun. You get to learn more about history as you go through, and you piece them together clues, and just, yeah. There's a little bit of danger and excitement involved. So I'm going to say Treasure Hunter for number 5. And that one is actually the least dangerous job on my list. So all of the other jobs on my list are highly, highly dangerous. So apparently I have a death wish and no regard for living, because, yeah, I'd probably die in all of these jobs pretty soon. Actually, no. There's one other that's, like, not so dangerous. There's one other job that's, like, it might even be less dangerous than Treasure Hunter. So, yeah. But all the others, highly, highly dangerous. I'd probably die very quickly in the job, but I'd still want to do them because they're awesome. So, number 4 on my list, again, highly dangerous job, would be Grimm. If you guys have seen the show Grimm, I love this show, and it's ending soon. All my favorite shows are ending, and I hate it. But yeah, so Grimm is ending soon, but I would want to be a Grimm because it would be so cool to just, like, learn about all these different Vesson creatures. And then you get Monroe and Rosalie as your best friends that you can hang out with, and they can teach you more about Vesson and the culture and all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to say Grimm for number 4. Number 3, this is another one that, this one is not a dangerous one. This is the other one that I said might be even a little less dangerous than Treasure Hunter, and that would be Felicity's job on Arrow, being the hacker for Team Arrow. And so I wish I had Felicity's brain for computers and technology, and can hack into pretty much just about anything. So yeah, I would take Felicity's job and be a hacker. And I say this one still has some degree of danger, because even though you're behind a computer and doing hacking, and it doesn't seem all that dangerous, if you're working for Team Arrow, there's always going to be some danger involved. So even though it's the least dangerous job on Team Arrow, there's still a chance that you could get kidnapped, or they could invade the compound or something to put you in danger. So there's that. But like I said, it's also the least dangerous job on that show. So coming in at number 2, again, another very dangerous job, but that is Assassin, just like Selena from Throne of Glass. I would love to be a badass assassin like her. And, okay, so this is kind of a spoiler if you haven't read up to, I believe, the end of the 2nd book. We find out at the end of Crown of Midnight. So if you haven't read up to the end of Crown of Midnight, I would suggest muting at this point, muting the video until this book goes away. So once this book goes away, you're safe to listen, but I would mute at this point. But at the end of Crown of Midnight, we find out that Selena is actually the Lost Princess Aelin, and Lost Princess Queen. Well, she's technically would be a queen now. So she's the queen of Terrazin. So she's got her own freaking country. So I want her job. She gets to be a badass assassin and the queen of her country. So yes, assassin and queen, I will take that job. Thank you. And then coming in at number 1, the job I would most want to have, again, highly dangerous job, probably die soon after, but I'd still want it, and that is Shadow Hunter. I would love to be a Shadow Hunter and just live in this world and fight demons and protect the world from demons and all this other stuff. So, yes, I would want to be a Shadow Hunter very, very much. So, my number 1 top pick for job, I got to be a Shadow Hunter. So, that is it for my top 5 fictional jobs that I would love to have. So next I'm going to move right on into my top 5 fantasy and sci-fi books. These are not really in any particular order. I love all of these books. Although 2 of them I love more than the rest. And you guys will already know which 2 I'm talking about when I show them, because I talk about them in almost every video. So, yeah, there are 2 that I love the most, but the rest, they're not in any particular order, because, yeah, I like all of these. I love fantasy. Fantasy is just, it's my favorite genre. So let's get into the books. So, of course, you guys know I can't talk about favorite fantasy and sci-fi books without mentioning Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. You guys know I've been talking about this book and this series in several videos already, and you're probably sick of hearing me talk and rave about this series, but I can't help it. I love it so much, and I just want to be in this world forever and ever and never let it go. So it's very dear to my heart. So, yes, I can't talk about sci-fi and fantasy without talking about Throne of Glass, my favorite. So, obviously, you guys know this was one of the ones that I said there are 2 that I love more than the rest. This is one of them. And, of course, the other book that is my absolute favorite, and I cannot talk about fantasy without mentioning this series. And you guys know I mention this series all the time when I'm talking about favorite books, because this is one of my absolute all-time favorites. That is The Infernal Devices. This is book 1, Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. I just absolutely freaking love this series. It is right up there with The Run of Glass as my favorites. And yes, so definitely cannot talk about favorite fantasy without mentioning Cassandra Clare. Pretty much all her books are like, well, I won't say all. I do prefer Infernal Devices to Mortal Instruments. And I absolutely love Lady Midnight. I cannot wait for Lord of Shadows. Super excited. It's going to be a pre-order. I can't wait for it. Like I said, the rest of these are not in any particular order. So the next one that I'm going to show you guys is Uninvited by Sophie Jordan. This is a sci-fi book, and this is set in a world where they have discovered a gene they call the kill gene, and anyone who has this gene is said to turn out to be a killer, no matter how good they may seem at first. if you have these genes, they say you're going to be a killer. And so the main character in the story, Davy, finds out she has this gene. And she is a straight A student, musical prodigy. She's the typical good girl, but she finds out she has this gene, and so from then she's treated very differently, has to change schools, and yeah, I loved this book when I read it, flew through it, became instantly one of my favorites. This is a duology, but I will say I was very, very disappointed with the second book, and sadly that was the last one. So yeah, I was really disappointed with the second one. But I love this one. This one is still one of my favorites, even though the second one, huge disappointment, didn't go the way I wanted it to go, but still love the first book. So the next book that I'm going to show you is another fantasy one, and I don't have the book because all of the books in this series, I've read them as an ebook format. So I will put a picture right up here to show you guys, and that is the Sign series by Jasmine Angel. And this one is an adult mermaid book, and the way the series goes, I kind of describe it as a mermaid dystopian type of book. It is so good, and I absolutely love the series. It's my favorite mermaid series by far. And yeah, so you guys, I've talked about this series several other times before. If you haven't checked it out yet, what are you waiting for? Check them out. I know ebook format, Kindle, e-reader, whatever. Not, I prefer physical books as well. But this is a series worth reading, even in e-reader format. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. I love it. Okay, and the last book that I'm going to show you guys, this one is actually another sci-fi book, and that is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. And this is the first book in the Fifth Wave trilogy. I absolutely loved The Fifth Wave when I read it. This book was just so good, and some of the lines in here and the quotes, this is such a quotable book. I've quoted it before in my book quote of the week postings on Instagram. So many good quotes in here that I love. And yeah, this one, you guys, I really like this one. I will say I didn't like the second and third as much. The second was probably my least favorite. The third, Fifth Wave is by far my favorite one in the series. So, yeah, I love it. So, this is another one of my favorite sci-fi. So, that's it for my favorite fantasy and sci-fi books, you guys. So, next, I'm going to be jumping into books that I have felt betrayed by. I'm also including TV shows in this category. So, books and TV that I felt betrayed by. So, yeah. So, first, I'm going to talk about the books that I felt betrayed by, and then I'll get into the TV shows. And again, this category is in no particular order, and I'm actually breaking a rule with this category because I've got more than 5 on my list for this one because I've had a lot of betrayals and heartache, so I need to talk about some of them. So I do have more than 5 for this category. So sorry, but yes. And the first one, and like I said, no particular order, but the first one I'm going to talk about is Fallen by Lauren Kate. So I'm not going to say any spoilers, but I'll just say that there is a character in Fallen that towards the end, this character does something that I felt totally heartbroken and betrayed by, because I really like this character. I love that character, and they did something that just, it hurt. It hurt so much. And I will never get over it. And so, yeah, this character, they betrayed me so much. This next book is probably a pretty obvious one, and it's probably one that a lot of people have had on their list for books that betrayed them, and that is Allegiant by Veronica Roth. This is the 3rd book in the Divergent series. I love Divergent. I love Insurgent. Insurgent is my favorite. Allegiant. Such betrayal. Like, that ending. I don't think I've ever felt quite the betrayal. I'm still not over it. I don't think I'll ever be over it. Even though I knew it was coming, I was spoiled on the ending, so I knew it was coming. But still, I did not want to believe it, because it hurts too much, and I'm so betrayed. So the next book that I felt betrayed by is Air Fire by Sarah J. Maas. I was such a Kale and Selena shipper. I shipped Kale and Selena so much, especially in Crown of Midnight. I shipped them so much, and then Crown of Midnight ended, and it broke my heart, but I had hope. I had hope that things would get better. And then I get to Air Fire, and just the betrayal. I did not want to admit the reality, because I was still holding on to so much hope, and I was so crushed and hurt. I mean, I did get over it eventually. By the end of the 5th book, I was like, okay, I'm okay with this now. But at the time, reading Air of Fire, I was not okay with it. I felt betrayed. It hurt. And I did not like it. So, yes. Air Fire, you betrayed me. So those were the books that I felt betrayed by. Now let's talk about some of the TV shows that I felt betrayed by. I will say most recently, a TV show that I have felt betrayed by most recently is Vampire Diaries. Just the series finale. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I just did not get the closure that I needed and wanted. And I need more closure, but I don't have it. And now I'm just, So, yeah, Vampire Diaries, you betrayed me. Because you left me without any good closure. So, I feel betrayed. And I did do a whole spoiler talk about the Vampire Diaries series finale. And I talk about things that I still want to know that aren't clear, and why I felt that I didn't have enough closure, and why it should have been a 2-hour episode finale, but they didn't give us a 2-hour episode finale. Another betrayal, Vampire Diaries. So yeah, if you want to check out my spoiler talk for the series finale, I will leave that link down below so you guys can check it out. The next TV show that I'm going to talk about that I felt such betrayal by and this is an older one, and that is The Secret Life of the American Teenager. I loved this show when it was airing. Me and my mom watched it together. We both loved the show, but the last season that it ended, just that last season, it started really going downhill. And I was just like, what are they doing to me? Why are they doing this? Amy, I don't like Amy anymore. And then that series finale of the show just really pissed me off. And I was like, this was like the worst series finale you can give me. I'm just so not happy with how it turned out and Amy's decision in the end. I was like, no, this cannot be happening. Why does she have to turn out to be such an idiot? So me and my mom felt the same way. I was just like, ugh, that show. Betrayal. It was going so good, so well. And then that last season, they just had to kill it. So, yeah, that's another one that I felt betrayed by. The next show I'm going to talk about that I felt betrayed by, this is mainly because it ended on such a freaking huge cliffhanger. And then they canceled the show, which I was pissed about because I really liked the show. I was enjoying it. And they only did one season and then they canceled it. And it ended on such a freaking huge cliffhanger. And now I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You're not going to tell me what went down, who got shot, who died? Like, And that show is Twisted, which was on, now called Freeform. It was called ABC Family at the time. Anyway, but Twisted, yeah. I was like, what the heck? That's such a huge cliffhanger. We hear a gunshot and then the screen goes black. I don't know who got shot. I don't know who died, who survived. And then we find out a major secret reveal at the end of that final episode. And then I'm just like, are you serious? I wanted to strangle ABC Family at that moment. I wanted to strangle the network workers. I was like, who the hell thought it would be a good idea to give us that finale and then just say, hey, sorry, we're not going to continue with the show, so better use your imaginations. Betrayal. Betrayal, betrayal, betrayal on so many levels. I am still not over that. So those are pretty much the books and TV shows that I have felt super betrayed by. If we're talking TV shows, I can go on forever because there's so many betrayals that have happened for me in shows. I'm not even gonna get into that. So, yeah, just know there are a lot of betrayals. A lot. But those are kind of the top, 6. I talked about 6, not 5. But those are kind of my top 6 betrayals for books and TV. Oh, the heartache. So, that has been a lot so far to get through. That's a lot of topics to get through. I do have one more. Like I said, I'm skipping angsty romances, so I really don't have many for that. But I do have one more top 5 topic that I want to talk about, and that's this week's topic, which is future classics. And I hope you guys have gotten a snack already, because this video is kind of long, and yeah, hopefully you guys get a snack to help you out. Now let's get into the last topic for this month, for March, and that is future classics, books that you think are going to be classics in the future. And I've got 5 books for this. Definitely think these are popular enough and everyone talks about them that I do think they will become future classics if they're not already considered classics. Because two of these, I'm like, are you considered a classic already? Probably not. You're not old enough to be, but I would consider you a classic because you just have that vibe. So, anyway, let's get into the books. So, the first one I'm going to talk about is Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This is book 1, The Lightning Thief. And this is a middle grade book by Rick Riordan. And this is just such a popular and beloved series. And I feel like this will definitely be a classic someday if it's not already considered a classic. Because like I said, some of these have that classic vibe or feeling to them. And like, I feel like this one is one that should already be a classic, even though I know it's not that old of a book. When was it done? Copyright 2005. So yeah, it really is not that old. It's 12 years old. So it's not an old book by any means, but it just has that feel, that classic feel to it. I do think it will become a classic one day. Because it's just such a beloved series that everybody loves to read it, and no matter how old you are, because I didn't read this series till I was an adult in my 20s, so, and I still loved it, so, yeah, definitely will be a classic one day. This next one I'm going to show has a lot of controversy surrounding it. Lots of people loved it. Lots of people hate it, and there's such controversy around this book and this series. But whether you love it or hate it, I do think it will become a classic one day. It is a series that everyone has talked about, everyone knows it. It's become a popular movie franchise. And of course I'm talking about Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. This one, like I said, when it first came out, very popular. The books, the movies sold a lot. And, you know, yes, there's a lot of controversy around it. Yes, it is not by any means the best book or series ever written. Not even close by any means. But whether you love it or hate it, no matter what you think about it, you can't deny that it's one that is everywhere. Everyone talks about it, and it's one that you can't really escape. There was even a whole fan fiction spin-off of Twilight, 50 Shades of Grey, a whole fan fiction that became popular and became books and then movies, which I never read 50 Shades of Grey or seen the movies, nor do I want to. It just really looks crappy. And if you think Twilight is crappy, I don't know what you would think of 50 Shades of Grey. It just looks horrible. Like I said, love it or hate it, I do think it will be a classic someday. So another book series that is very beloved by so many people, and I definitely think is going to be a classic someday. Also another one that has a huge movie franchises. The movies are awesome. They are a great adaptation of the book. And of course I'm talking about Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I definitely can see this becoming a classic someday. Like I said, it's very, very much beloved. So many people love it, talk about it. You know, even though the movie franchise is over, it's still going strong. And so definitely think this will be a classic someday. And the next book, again, very beloved popular series as well. Divergent by Veronica Roth. And this one, even though a lot of people had issues with Allegiant and they didn't like Allegiant, and I talked about Allegiant as one of the books that I felt betrayed by, such a betrayal, but I still think this is another series that people just love and are drawn to, and I can see it becoming a classic someday. I kind of see it up there with Hunger Games in terms of classics and popularity. So, and the final book on my list, you guys, this list of future classics would not be complete without the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. You can't talk about future classics without talking about Harry Potter. And this is one, again, that I said already has that classic vibe or feeling to it. And I'm like, maybe you're already considered a classic, even though you're not that old. This is 20 years old, I think. Came out in 97, I want to say. So it's 20 years old this year, which is fairly old, but still not that old. So, not yet classic old, but it will be. It'll be a classic someday. It's a very much beloved series. Everyone everywhere knows about Harry Potter, whether you like him or not, which I don't think I know too many people who don't like the Harry Potter series. But, no matter what corner of the world you live in, you could be living under a rock, and I think you would still know about Harry Potter. So, yeah, it's definitely one that's everywhere, and definitely one it's definitely will be a classic. I already consider it a classic. Anyway, you guys, those are my books. Those are my top 5 future classics. I think will be classics in the future. And yeah, that was a lot to get through. A lot of different topics, a lot of different books and TV shows. So yeah, I am just going to stop right here because this is going to be a pain in the butt to edit. So I'm stopping here. You guys leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are for any of these topics. What did you pick for future classics, fictional jobs, books you felt betrayed by, favorite sci-fi fantasy? Any of the topics, let me know your opinions down below and what books or TV shows or movies that you would say for each of these topics. And I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye.